ABC News national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy. So, Mick, President Biden, we know now, moving on to Poland, where he's set to meet with the leaders of NATO's 9 eastern flank nations. What do you think his message will be to them, and what will they be looking for from the president?
So, Alexis, I think his message will be that we must stand united as NATO, that the United States is there to defend the entirety of NATO. And one of the things NATO should do together is to ensure that our support to Ukraine continues. It's in obviously the Ukrainians' interest, but also the United States and NATO. And I think that is what they're going to want to hear as well, especially since these are the border states with Russia. And they really want to hear that the United States, the world superpower, is with them when it comes to defending the military alliance that is NATO.
So this was President Biden's first visit to Ukraine since Russia's invasion began nearly a year ago. He announced new military aid for Ukraine, including more ammo for U.S. artillery systems, also a Javelin missile system. What will Ukraine need the most, do you think, as Russia ramps up an unexpected or an expected spring offense?
So they certainly need all of the above. Ammunition has become very much a factor on the battlefield. The Russians are having a hard time getting what they need, and the Ukrainians as well. We need to make sure there's no interruption in the flow of munitions out to the soldiers that are fighting on the front line. I think there will also be a continued push for the introduction of advanced fighter aircraft like the F-16s, and also the long-range fires, or what we call the ATACMS. There's multiple versions of that, but the most effective is from the United States, and they can be shot out of the HIMARS, which the Ukrainians already know how to use. This would really give the Ukrainians the ability to go on the offensive, certainly in spring, along with all the other equipment we've given, to include the Bradley fighting field vehicle and the Stryker. That is exactly what the Ukrainians need to really start taking back key terrain from the Russians and pushing them off the territory that they've taken since their invasion almost 1 year ago.
And senior administration officials say that the U.S. alerted Russia to President Biden's Ukraine trip just a few hours ahead of time. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, what that looked like, and why that's important to let Moscow know and not keep it a secret?
Absolutely. So there was a lot of secrecy, as you'd expect, for the president to visit a war zone, especially a war zone of which the U.S. military does not control. But eventually, that is known that he is there. And it's important to make sure that there's no mistakes. When the president lands on the ground, it's quickly known that he is there, even with the secrecy that went into place to protect him. And now that's the time to tell the Russians, the president is in Kyiv. There should be absolutely no strikes on the capital. It could be viewed as an attack against the United States. And we don't want a mistake to escalate this conflict to be one which would include the United States and Russia going head to head, so to speak. So it is important to be secret up to the point where we want to make sure that the Russians don't do something that could escalate it. And I think that was absolutely the right call.
And Mick, later this week, the president is expected to announce additional sanctions against, quote, elites and companies aiding Russia's war machine. What do you think those targets will be? Who might those targets be?
So Russia is going all around the world to try to find where they can get munition. There's a lot of international arms dealers. I would guess that these companies and these groups are some of the ones that are either being sanctioned or threatened to be sanctioned, because anything we can do to cut off the munition to Russia, who is already having a very difficult time militarily doing anything in Ukraine, would only make it more complicated for them and obviously be to the advantage of our partner, the Ukrainians. So it is a good move. Collectively, it might make a difference, maybe not individually, but collectively it could have an impact.
All right, Mick Mulroy, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.